Amber, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Hey, thanks for being on the podcast. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to ask you a few questions, all right? And, just conversation, but ask you a few questions. Like, you come to the gym every day. You're very fit. I see you work out. You work out hard. You kick your butt every day. I see you in here. What made you start your fitness journey?
So I started my fitness journey when my youngest was a year old.
Uh-huh.
I just started doing Zumba.
So how old is your youngest now?
So now she is almost 14.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
wow, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And then after a couple years of that, my youngest sister invited me to join a boot camp with her.
Uh-huh.
And I loved the challenge of the boot camp.
Yeah.
Zumba's more fun, but
Right.
But so I joined the boot camp for a month and I saw pretty good results, and then did it for 3 months.
Okay.
And for me, it was amazing just to see the body change.
Right.
And how good I felt
Uh-huh.
from pushing through, because it's hard.
It is. I know.
You push through and you challenge yourself, and then you have that endorphin release after, and you feel good.
Yeah, see, I tell people that all the time, you got to challenge yourself. And it's not easy, like you said, but if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you.
Right.
So, I like that. So what, but you stuck with it.
I stuck with it. And then I after that, joined a gym in Saratoga Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of lifting.
Yeah.
There was a body pump program that I did, and I remember looking in the mirror one day and I was like, "What the heck?"
What was it?
Like muscles,
muscles,
your back and your arms and stuff, and because I hadn't really been paying attention.
Yeah.
And then people start saying things.
Start commenting on it.
Yeah, but it just, so I tease and say I have an addiction.
Yeah.
Because it did become.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, an addiction for me, and it wasn't all physical. It was
right.
mentally what it did for me too.
Uh-huh.
Just dealing with the stressors of life.
Yeah.
And the social part of it. I've met so many good people.
Right.
At the gyms.
You probably meet some crazy people too.
Yeah.
Some crazy, freaky people.
That too.
Of course, that happens.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
But I've made some really good friends,
Yeah.
and so it's all encompassing. It's a lot of things.
Right.
And then I stayed at that gym, and my husband started working out with me.
Uh-huh.
And then when he passed away in 2015,
wow.
I just stopped. I just stopped working out because it just wiped me out. I had no motivation. And so for 6 months, just sat at home. I was pretty grief stricken, and then I started to feel yucky, my whole body just, because grief takes its toll on your body. And it was wearing me down, and I was achy, and so I finally said to my daughter, I'm like, I did this program online, and so I started working out downstairs with my daughter.
Right.
And then my sister-in-law invited me to do some weight training with her up at the Legends in Riverton.
Uh-huh.
So I started doing heavy weight training, and I realized after just a few months I was starting to feel better. The aches were going away, and it actually became a way for me to deal with the grief.
Uh-huh.
Some of my best workouts have been on the days where I just so many heavy emotions, but I used that to fuel my workout. I used it to lift heavier, just to push myself through it.
Right.
And that actually pulled me out of the depression that I was in.
Yeah.
So I've realized for me that it'll always be a part of who I am.
Right.
Because it honestly, I think, helped prepare me in a way for what happened with my husband.
Uh-huh.
Even though I stopped, because I knew how I had felt before.
Right.
And so just pushing through that, and actually, after my husband died, that's when I really got into lifting, and I love it. It's like, I like,
you know what, the reason I like, and the reason I wanted you on here, and I like to hear this, because I think this can help some people, you know, who has gone through something like that and don't know how to deal with it, or is afraid to deal with it, or whatever, you know. So that's why, you know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on here. But you know what the coincidence is? I just, when you were saying that, I remember my mom and dad died, but both died in 2011, you know, about 30 days apart. And I had just done a show, I just done a bodybuilding show the same month that my dad died.
Wow.
And, but after they died, I stopped working out.
Yeah.
I quit working out for like 6 months. So when you said that, I was like, whoa, I had nothing in me. I had to find a new motivation.
Yep.
Because it took it away from me, you know. I mean, I didn't realize how much I had depended on them. And I didn't see my mom and dad very often because they live on the East Coast. I'm way out here. And I, you know, but just talking to them. Yeah. And knowing they were there, and I would see them every 4 or 5 years, something like that, that was enough motivation to keep me going. Yep. And when they died, it was like, wow. First of all, I felt like an orphan, a 40-year-old orphan.
Yeah, because you were.
Yeah. And then I was like, man, I had no motivation. Then one day I got up and I was like, man, I need to find a motivation, find something else to push me, whatever. I'm one of those people. I needed something to push me, and you know. So then I put it on my kids, so they better outlive me. So you know, but yeah, that was my thing, you know. Yep. So that's crazy though.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is crazy, but. I mean, life happens, and hard things happen to all of us, and you have a choice on how you're going to handle it.
Right.
You can handle it in healthy ways or unhealthy ways.
Exactly.
But for me, because I still have 3 kids at home, they're going to look to me as an example on, okay, how's mom handling this? And so they've seen how exercise has been my release. Yeah. It's my time. Yeah. And it's not selfish.
No.
When you work on you, then you're better with other people and you can help other people.
I tell people all the time, you have to invest in yourself.
Yep.
That's one of the principles I teach people all the time. We talked about it before, but you have to invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, and I want y'all to listen to this, when you invest in yourself, you not only make your life better, but you make the people's lives around you better too, all right? So invest in yourself. So I'm loving what she's saying here.
100%. And also, last year, my mom got diagnosed with cancer.
I remember that, yeah.
And so I still kept coming to the gym through that. And so you learn a lot about yourself. And I knew that I had, I quit before when my husband passed away, when my mom got sick. I knew that the exercise is what I needed to keep me in it, to not fall apart, to not get back into a depression again. And so I looked forward to coming to the gym every day. I just, for an hour or two, just to, I don't know, it just renews you.
Yeah.
And so when she passed away in June, I feel like I handled it a lot better because I prepared myself. I knew it was coming. But I had the support too. It becomes a support network with the people at the gym.
I was gonna say, I remember, I remember during those times, we talked a lot during those times. And you seemed to handle it really well. Although, we knew what was coming down the pipe. Yeah. And, but for what it was, you handled it, pretty well, And I'm glad that you looked at us as support, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was good,
It was good. Everybody needs a support system.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about your gym is just a small community feel, and everybody in here is friendly with everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was a safe place for me to come and be vulnerable, because I cried a lot of times. I've cried to you. a lot, because it gets hard.
It does. Yeah.
But you have to, the thing of it is you have to keep moving forward. You have to push through.
Yes.
And you'll be amazed when you come out the other side.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at what you can do. You can get through something that you thought was going to destroy you or break you forever. And then you realize that you can use your story to help other people.
There you go. There you go. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back back where I'm from, we say each one teach one, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about, giving back. Yep. Giving back, and that's what I try to do a lot too when I go out and speak and stuff like that. So how about like your food regimen? Do you do anything? Are you doing anything specific, or do you do anything specific? And I'm asking these questions because I want to help people at home. You know what I mean? That are watching this. You know what I mean? What's something that you do?
So, I follow a regimen when I'm working with you more.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really honestly love healthy food. If I'm going to go eat out, then it's going to be at a place where I can find a healthy option.
Right. Okay.
So I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't drink a lot of soda. Drink a ton of water. I love salads and making sure that I'm getting good protein.
Right.
Chicken or your protein shake. So for me, I don't count calories.
Right.
And I'm not obsessed with it.
Right.
I've just learned what I can eat and what works for my body.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the key, is what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for somebody else.
Yes.
But you can figure it out along the way. You figure out what works for your body.
Exactly.
Like when I was telling you the other day, I can't do low carbs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work for me. And for some it does.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not wrong.
No.
It's just figuring out what works for you. And
we're all different.
We're all different.
Yes.
But I think making sure you're eating healthy carbs and the sugar, cutting out the sugar, I think is important.
It's key,
yeah. You can treat yourself sometimes.
Right.
And I do.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect in my diet, but I would say 90% of my food choices are healthy.
Yeah. Now see, me, when I talk about treats, a treat to me is like another steak.
Yeah.
Or shrimp or whatever,
okay.
You know what I mean? But that's a treat to me. In fact, I know this is overboard. I mean, but I always, when people refer to sugary stuff, sugary donuts or I don't know, candy, and they call it a treat, I call it a poison. So I'm like, that's not a treat. A treat is, give me that steak. That's a treat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, put the little Johnny in the corner and give him a treat. No, you just put Johnny in the corner and poisoned him. So
pick your poison, right?
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm just messing around. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. So food is the key. Food is the key.
Food is, and you got to use it as your fuel.
Yeah.
There's been times when I've come in here and I'm like, Penny, I'm so tired. And you'll ask me, well, what did you have for breakfast?
Yeah.
Not enough, right?
Exactly.
So you have to use food as your fuel.
Yes.
And I can tell when I've had a healthy meal, I can work out a lot easier, but you can feel it when you haven't been eating good and you try to work out, you are tired.
I wonder, because you're pretty petite, and I wonder if, because of your stature, if that plays a role in that, you know what I mean? We
Probably.
have some more petite women in here too, and there's some in here, and they always talk about how they have to eat, more.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so I always wonder, I wonder if that plays a role, you know what I mean? So. Yeah.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
100%. But
I'm not petite, and I have to eat like crazy. I feel it if I don't eat. I mean, I feel it immediately. I'm like, I actually get upset when I don't eat.
Yeah. And you don't like to share your food either. You're like, I'm going over here. in my corner.
That's right.
I got 10 chicken nuggets, and I'm eating all 10 of them.
And that's how. If I wanted 9, I would have bought 9.
That's right.
But I got 10.
Yep.
But I won't do chicken nuggets.
I know.
They just piss me off. If anything, I'm doing chicken fingers. I want some chicken tenders or something.
Me too.
I might do 10 of those, but yeah.
Yeah, 10. So. Okay. 10 chicken fingers for Kenny.
That's right. That's right. Let me tell you. I mean, tell me, like, through this whole process, and I know you've already explained a lot, but like through this whole process, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. I mean, I'm talking about through the whole process of your fitness journey. What have you learned? What are some of the things that you've learned?
I've learned that you can do hard things.
Yes.
And I love the quote that you have in here that says you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because if you want your body to change, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painful at times, but it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're only given one body.
Right.
And for me, I don't want to be sick.
Right.
I want to be able to play with my grandkids and still live a healthy lifestyle. I've
told 2 people this today. If you want something you've never had before, you got to do something you've never done before.
Yep.
So I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was always afraid of weights. Growing up, it was a myth of, if a girl lifts, she's just going to get big and bulky.
No. Yeah.
And no, and it's in fact more important as you age to do the weight training.
Most definitely.
So I have learned that exercise is not just the physical side.
Right. For sure.
It's more of a, like you said, invest in yourself and make time for yourself. An hour a day isn't that much when you think about what you have going on through your whole day.
Yeah.
And so and I think the key is finding what you like.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to exercise.
So many.
If you don't like weights, cardio, boxing, there's running, cycling. Just find something that you like.
It's like staying active.
Yes. And be consistent. That's the key. Be consistent every day. I
told somebody this morning. He's an older gentleman, and he's told me he's getting ready to retire. I said, so what are you going to do? I was like, because there's 3 things that you need to do. You need to stay relevant, you need to stay active, and you need to stay social.
Yep.
But that active thing, I'm like, that one concerns me, because a lot of times people don't stay active, or as active. Mm-hmm. So you're right,
Yeah.
It's just activity. That people are always looking for the fountain of youth.
Right.
That is the fountain of youth right there.
I agree.
Staying active.
Yep, staying active. And drink a lot of water.
Yes, lots of water.
Lots of water.
Water flushes toxins out of the body. Mm-hmm. And and that's, we just get toxic, and that's what we should do, flush these toxins out of the body. That's why people do detoxes and cleanses and things like that, to get the toxins out of the body. I always tell people this: when we get fat, or what we call fat, it's not that we grow these extra fat cells. What happens is those fat cells get toxic and they swell, and that's when we get what we call fat. So we shrink those fat cells by drinking water, flushing, by exercising, and and just breaking up that toxicity, and then getting it out of the body. And with the water, we lose. That's how we get rid of fat. That's how we get rid of fat out of the body, through urine, urinating, sweating, our condensation from when we breathe. That's how we get rid of fat. So if you're not drinking water, your body will retain water. Yeah. So you got to drink water to release that stuff, and that's what it's all about.
And one thing too that I've learned just since I've joined your gym is I've watched you train a lot of people, and I love watching the transformation. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah.
To watch that and to see that food matters.
Yes.
You have to, both have to, exercise and food, they work together.
Most definitely.
And so trusting the process,
Ooh.
like you say all the time.
Trust the process, yeah.
Trust the process. Sometimes the results are slower, but over time, it's better that way.
Yeah.
It's not always a quick fix.
Right.
But yeah, and I've learned too that you got to eat more. Your whole thing is, and I've watched that. I've watched you put people on meal plans and over 2,000 calories, and so you have to feed the muscle.
Exactly.
And so not like, I know women always were brought up to feel like we have to restrict.
Right.
Well, I've actually learned no, I can eat a lot more than I thought.
That's called feeding the muscle and starving the fat.
Yeah.
What a lot of people do when they restrict their eating is they feed their fat and starve their muscle, because then they're overworking their nutrition. You know what I mean? So then the body's going to utilize that food as energy, and then when it runs out of that food, because that's all you've given it, it's going to start eating muscle, going to start burning muscle. But if you feed that, feed it, your body will run off that food, you'll maintain your muscle, and muscle burns fat.
Yep.
Man, it's a beautiful thing.
And I've witnessed it so many times, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's part of, I love watching people transform.
Oh, I know.
Not even body-wise, but confidence-wise too.
Yes.
And I just love it. I love watching the whole process.
Yeah. I love watching when people gain their freedom. I call it gaining their freedom with their food. You know what I mean? They're not so restricted. Like, hey, I can have this. I can have that.
Yeah.
You know my thing. Friday nights, large pizza night, baby. Large pizza, and I don't share. So, that's mine. Yeah. So, man. But it's okay, I do it. It's in moderations or my moderation.
Yes.
And but I eat pretty healthy throughout the rest of the week. So
moderation is very key too.
Yeah.
You don't have to cut everything out if you portion it right.
Right.
You can still have your ice cream or your donut if you want to.
Yeah.
If you're getting your macros in, and your moderation.
I did
it works.
I held one of my drop it like it's hot challenges, and one of the ladies that won, she ate ice cream every day. She told me she ate every day, just one time a day. I mean, she didn't overindulge, but she ate ice cream. But she, in that 8 weeks, she lost 7.5% body fat.
Wow.
7.5% body fat.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she lost like 3 pounds of total, but she put on lean mass and she lost a bunch of fat mass. And it was crazy.
That is crazy.
So, but it just shows you you can do it. And moderation is the key. Moderation is key. If you're doing it all, you don't really have to restrict yourself.
The other thing that I've learned too, so you have the bod pod upstairs.
Yeah.
And so we started a coaching program in January. And so there was a period of time where I was super stressed out.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll be curious to see what my results were. Well, stress is it's huge. It's huge.
It's toxic.
It is toxic.
Yes.
So the results that I got the first time, and then after that time of stress, it really opens your eyes to, it changes the chemistry in your body. It changes everything, because I had gone up in body fat, wasn't burning as many calories, but it's also because when I'm stressed, I don't eat as much.
Yeah.
And so it's very eye-opening to sit down with you and have you explain. I can tell whether you're eating enough or not, right?
Yeah.
I can tell by the way this looks whether you're eating enough or not. And so
I can see it.
So then a few more weeks went by, and kind of worked through my stress and got back on the meal plan, and it was so much better.
Yeah.
So it's key to control your stress too.
Yeah.
It is bad for you. It is toxic. And so I love it.
Yeah,
I love learning about that, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah.
And so just keeping track and watching that, it's like we're all so stressed out. Everybody has stress.
Yeah.
And so you have to be very conscious about, what am I eating? What am I doing? you know, what's the stress doing to me, and find a way to work through that.
Exactly.
Because that will, it does make a difference if we can control it.
Yes.
So.
Man, I love this, Amber.
Yeah.
You got a lot of information. A lot of good information. I love this, bro. I could talk to you all day about this stuff.
No, I love it too.
Yeah,
it's this and psychology. So
yeah,
you want to talk this or whatever?
I don't think I can hang with you with psychology, you know.
Yeah, you could.
But nah. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is my thing. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the knowledge that you have, and you know the knowledge that you share with everybody. And your journey, part of your journey, you've had a rough journey.
Yeah.
We've talked about things. You've had a rough journey, you know, but you know you do amazing things, and you look amazing, and you know you keep doing your thing, and you stand strong.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that you're here every day putting in your work, you know. So
yeah.
And thank you for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Anytime. Hey, y'all take care, and we'll holler at you later. I hope you got something out of this. And tune in, okay? Tune in. We're going to keep coming with more, all right? Later.